$3 worth of wax heats a camp shelter the whole night. Not a propane heater, not a battery pack, not any modern device. A simple disc made from cardboard and melted wax burns for hours. Field testers measured steady warmth past 8 continuous hours. It raised shelter temperature by 15 degrees on frozen nights. So why does the entire outdoor industry pretend this never works? Because $3 does not justify a product line or a brand. Because the camp heating market depends on you buying gear yearly. This is the buried story of the cheapest camp heater ever built. And the reason the outdoor industry made sure you never learned. It starts with something you already have inside your own garage. Corrugated cardboard, leftover candle wax, a single tin container. Rolled together tight, it becomes a heat source that lasts all day. And the industry has been quietly burying this method for years. Every winter, you spend $40 to $80 on heating gear. Every season, the product line refreshes with a slightly new model. Every year, old woodsmen watch the same simple fix get overlooked, because they already solved this decades before you started camp. Welcome to Silent Hunt Society, where buried knowledge comes back. If these forgotten methods matter to you, then subscribe right now. Hit the bell so you never miss what they have been trying to hide. This is where old backwoods knowledge finally comes back to light. Long before portable heaters existed, there were men in the woods, trappers and hunters who spent weeks in frozen mountain shelters. In 1931, fur trappers across northern Montana camps discovered that rolled cardboard soaked in rendered animal tallow could burn slow and steady through an entire freezing cold night. They would cut corrugated cardboard into long, even-width strips. They would roll those strips tight inside a shallow metal tin can. Then they poured melted tallow across the top to seal every layer. The result was a dense, slow-burning disc that produced real heat. No smoke worth worrying about, no open flame taller than a thumb, just a steady, radiant warmth that filled a small shelter quietly. By the 1940s, this same technique had spread all across logging camps and hunting cabins throughout the northern Rockies. Some used paraffin wax instead of tallow for a much cleaner burn. Some added sawdust between the rolled layers for longer duration. Others stuffed cotton wicks through the center for easier starts. But the core principle remained the same across every single camp. Trap heat inside wax and release it slowly through the long night. A 1948 field guide from the Montana Trappers Club called this method the most reliable cold camp solution they had. It listed materials costing less than 10 cents at the time total. The guide noted that a single disc could heat a canvas lean to up to 12 degrees warmer than the outside air across 8 hours. That is the difference between sleeping and suffering in the cold. And every trapper in that mountain range already knew it by heart. By the 1960s, the outdoor industry started selling gear. Portable propane heaters appeared first in specialty camp catalogs. Chemical hand warmers hit the shelves for the first winter market. Battery-operated heating pads followed right behind them on sale. And suddenly a $3 wax disc was no longer worth a mention. Not because it failed to work. It never once failed when built it. But because you cannot build a product empire on cardboard and wax, you cannot charge $60 for something anyone builds at home. So the industry did exactly what it always does to any cheap threat. They replaced the method with products that require annual purchase. They buried the old knowledge under layers of new catalog products. And they convinced a generation that warmth requires electricity. This video is just the surface of what the industry has been hiding. I collected everything that modern outdoor culture buried far down. All of it is inside the complete Forbidden Hunter's Vault collection. Sub-zero heat methods built from the simplest field logic you need. Deadwood firecraft that most modern campers will never even learn. Invisible camp setups that keep your entire footprint off the land. Appalachian meat storage methods that still hold up in the field. Whitetail funnel logic that changes how you read the woods fully. 8 powerful modules packed in one place and 0 filler content. The link is sitting in the description right below this video now, but stay right here with me. The video is only getting started up. Now here is the part where the science confirms what trappers knew. Paraffin wax has a specific energy density around 46.1 megajoules per kilogram, which is higher than most dry firewood. That means a single pound of wax stores more usable heat energy in it than a full pound of seasoned oak or hickory split for burning. When you roll it tight inside corrugated cardboard, The air pockets between the layers act as natural insulation, slowing the burn rate. The result is a controlled low flame that radiates heat for hours. A 2012 study on emergency heating alternatives, published by the Journal of Wilderness Medicine, found that wax-based heating sources maintained shelter temperatures above freezing for longer than any battery-operated device tested in the same controlled lab. The wax disc outlasted chemical warmers by over 4.5 HR. It outlasted a portable butane heater by nearly 2 full hours too, and the wax disc cost under $3 compared to $45. The thermal output of the wax disc is not explosive or violent. It is slow and consistent, which is exactly what a shelter needs. A propane heater spikes the temperature fast and then cycles off. A wax disc rises gradually and maintains a plateau through dark. That steady output is what keeps your core temperature regulated. If you made it this far, then you already know more about heating than most campers will ever learn from any gear store or catalog. Subscribe and share this with someone who still values real field knowledge over the expensive noise the outdoor industry sells us. And remember that everything they buried is inside the full vault. The link is in the description. Now stay with me for what is next. So here is the real question that nobody in the industry answers. If a $3 wax disc outperforms a $40 heater, well then why does every outdoor brand pretend this method never exists? The portable heating market generates over $600 million per year across North America alone, counting all categories they sell. That includes propane systems and chemical packs and battery units. Every single one of those products needs you to rebuy them yearly. Some of them need replacement cartridges every single trip to camp. The entire model depends on the idea that staying warm in a camp is a complex engineering problem that requires factory technology. But a wax disc made from cardboard contradicts that entire belief. It says that warmth is simple if you understand the basic science. You do not need a fuel canister or a rechargeable battery for it. You do not need a $50 sleeping pad with built-in heating. You need corrugated cardboard and leftover wax and 5 minutes. That kind of message directly threatens entire corporate catalogs. You cannot patent wax-soaked cardboard or license a tin container. You cannot create dependency when anyone can build this at home. So the method had to be slowly erased from every outdoor resource, not disproven through science, just quietly removed from the talk, replaced by gear reviews and product launches and brand campaigns. The outdoor industry did not defeat this method with any evidence. They defeated it with marketing budgets and with shelf positioning, and they replaced it with something you must keep purchasing again. In 2016, an independent winter camping group tested 6 common heating methods across 3 freezing nights in Montana. The wax disc held shelter temperature steady at the lowest cost up. Propane ran out by hour 4 on the second consecutive night used. Chemical warmers dropped below useful output within 90 minutes. The battery heater died completely after just 5 hours of usage. The wax disc burned steady through all 3 nights at full output. Total cost for the wax disc group across all 3 nights was $9 compared to over $120 for the propane group. Not one outdoor publication covered those results when they posted. Here is exactly what you need to do, and it costs almost nothing. Take a standard corrugated cardboard box and cut it into strips. Each strip should be about 2 inches wide and as long as it gets. Roll the strips tightly together and fit them inside a metal tin. A tuna can or a shallow soup can works perfectly for this purpose. Melt paraffin wax or any leftover candle wax in a double boiler. Pour the melted wax slowly over the rolled cardboard in the tin. Let the wax soak fully into every single layer of the cardboard. Allow it to cool and harden completely before you pack it for use. When you are ready to use it, light the exposed cardboard edges up. The flame will stay low and the wax feeds it for the entire night. Place it on a stable surface inside your shelter, away from fabric. A single disc heats a small tent or lean-to for 8 full hours. Build 2 discs for longer nights or for larger shelter areas too. The materials cost under $3 total at any general store. Compare that to a $40 propane heater that runs out fast. Compare that to chemical warmers you throw away after single use. Compare that to battery systems that die when you need them most. Old trappers knew that the simplest answer was already the best. They did not wait for technology. because the solution was already sitting inside their own supplies the entire time they were alive. One disc of wax and cardboard outperformed everything that modern camping brands spent millions of dollars trying to engineer right. I need to be honest with you about one real limit of this method. You must keep the disc on a stable, fireproof surface at all times. Never leave it unattended near flammable material inside a tent. Ventilation matters because any open flame consumes oxygen slowly. Crack a vent in your shelter and monitor the flame while it burns. This is not a replacement for a proper fire in extreme conditions. But for standard cold nights in a sheltered camp, this disc method outperforms every commercial alternative at a fraction of the cost. That is the part the outdoor industry truly hopes you never learn. This knowledge did not die inside those old trapper cabins at all. It waited for someone to finally bring it right back to the open. If this video made a real difference, then subscribe and share now. Every single share preserves what the modern industry tried bury. The complete vault is sitting in the description right below this. The next vault opens soon, and what sits inside is even heavier up. The forest already gave you the answer, and it costs almost zero. $3 of wax. That is all it takes to stay warm all night.